Hello everyone, I am Jo Oliver and together with my husband we are the management couple at Settlers Drift, Kariega Game Reserve. In my spare time I am a budding author and earlier this year I published my first book, The Lion's Roar. Following the enormous success of the fundraising event Jamie Rides for Rhino, I have decided to donate 100% of my royalties from the sales of The Lion's Roar for 1 month. To whet your appetite a little, I would like to read an excerpt from The Lion's Roar for you today. I was able to return part-time to the office at the end of February 2002, by which time I could only sit for about an hour at a time. Realistically, I could only return to the office full-time once I could sit comfortably for most of the day, which would come a little later. Out of any period of my recovery, the months from Christmas until the end of February was when I fully realised what a turning point that riding accident had been. Whilst able to do a lot more for myself, but not yet fit enough to return to work, it was during this time that I saw a completely different side of myself, and I loved it. I was relaxed, fun, calm, even confident, and totally without stress. There is no doubt that the months leading up to the accident had clearly shown how close to the edge I was sailing emotionally. And whilst my return to Africa had helped calm me down, I had already felt it slipping away a few days after returning to work. Horrendous though it was to recover from, this accident had taken all control away from me and forced me to stop and refocus. In so doing, I was beginning to see what kind of person I was away from the stresses and strains of the corporate world, and I so wanted to keep hold of her. I truly believe that the person who waddled through the door of the office at the end of February 2002 was not the same person who walked out of it on the evening of 5th of September 2001. There was no going back to being the emotional wreck that I had been, having seen how emotionally strong and calm I had become during my recovery. I stayed with the company another year, but by March 2003 it became clear to me that I could no longer remain in the corporate world. I had had my eyes opened and glimpsed how I was away from it, and I realised that I could no longer work under that pressure without fearing the consequences. Perhaps that inner voice was right after all. I was indeed in the wrong place for who I had become. To that end, I resigned from the company. A lot of people thought I was foolish, giving up a good career in one of the world's top companies without the security of another job to move to. For myself, I felt liberated. And whilst the future was uncertain, I had built up a decent deposit account during my tax-free years, which enabled me to take 9 months off from working in an attempt to discover what I wanted to move to. The only thing I knew for sure was that I desperately wanted to spend time in the bush in Africa. I had always found the bush a wonderful place to think clearly and find perspective, and my instinct was guiding me there. After that, I didn't know.